with the link. If you happen to log on to ECO, the old link, it'll redirect you and you give a link to the new site. It will also give you a link to help pages on our health department website. It gives the application status where you can see how many days out we are on applications, and it also at the bottom gives how-to links on how to do all of these things. So we'll just start with that, and then I'll have Jamie go ahead and drive how to create an application and get the ACA.
So I won't be able to see the chat. So if you have questions, it would be better if you speak up because I won't be able to see that because I'm on one screen. And I'm going to turn off my camera so it doesn't affect our connection. Okay. So this is the link to ACA, which is the online portal of Accela. And this is the main page. So if you don't have an account, you can see there's a register for an account link up here. And then there's a link in blue letters down here to create an account. Also, you'll see this green help button. This will direct you to our department's website to that help page that Laurel was speaking about. So I will create an account. You'll see as you move your cursor, it gives you helpful text.
The username, email, password to tell you, special characters, you saw the pop-up for that.
Gives you predefined security questions. You can see I filled this out before. And then I'm going to accept the terms of service and continue. So contact details. I can select what kind of contact I am. So there's designer, certified professional, individual. So if I was doing an application, maybe just as a one-time person, maybe I'm applying for a food application and I'm a construction company and I don't intend on doing it again, I might select individual. If I'm a designer, I'm going to select designer. And you can see it goes installer, owner, organization, etc.
If you choose designer, we have the ability to link to your professional account, for an example. And this is something you only have to fill out once on your account.
Yes.
You will have the ability to pull this information from your account into every application you do, so you don't have to re-enter it again. So that's another nice feature of this. We didn't have that in ECO.
So, and if I'm associated with the business, I want to put the business in here. But again, these fields that you can't see what I'm pointing at, these fields that I'm filling out aren't required.
What is important on these, though, is the email. This is one of our key ways to communicate with you. So making sure you've got a good email address.
And you can see I can add my address and it expands. What's nice about this is once you add it, like Laurel said, I don't have to add it again. So I can choose mailing, billing. and submit. So now I've been registered. It gives me a summary of my information.
It covered the licensing. Is there licensing in here? No, that's not. It's okay.
No.
Yeah, just move on to.
Okay, so I'm going to create an application. Even though I created my account, I hadn't logged in. So log in.
Have to remember the password you just said. There you go.
Okay. So my first step is to select a record type. When you click the caret, it'll show you everything that's under that heading. So drinking water, here's all the applications that you could apply for online. On-site sewage. And then food, pools, and schools. And then there's complaints as well.
Pick. I would just do a design application.
Okay, so we're gonna do design application. Continue. So we're gonna show you one application, but just something to call out. The online applications are very similar. They're all going to start with the property physical location of the application. And there's help text right here. We're going to enter the street number or the house number and then the street name. And I'm going to leave the rest of it blank and click search. I could also enter just the parcel number and hit search, and it will pull in the rest of the address and the owner information.
If there's just one match on the address you put in, it'll pull it in. If there are multiple properties with the same house number and street name, then you'll get a list to pick from and you can pick the correct one. Once you've selected that, then it will pre-populate this information. This gets populated from the Pierce County Assessor's website. Go ahead and click continue. It does get populated from Pierce County website, and their name and first name, last name is not parsed out. So I think when you go into add a person, you have to put the name.
Yeah, so I could select myself as the applicant. I could select the owner, say continue, or I could add somebody totally new if I needed to. But we're gonna say, I'm just entering this on behalf of the owner, so I want them to be the applicant. So you can see that it's pulled in information. I chose our business instead of a that of one with just a property owner. And I'm gonna put my email address in here. But this would be your homeowner's address or whoever the applicant is. And continue. So now you can see a green check mark next to applicant because this application requires an applicant. The required contact types on applications vary. So you'll always want to make note that you look above here. If I wanted to add a licensed professional at this point, I can hit look up. And then I could search by the business.
You can put in Apex. Larry's on here. That's anything that has Apex in it. So then we would go in and choose whoever's current with probably the designer, for example. And hit continue.
And I did a broad search, so I could have narrowed that search down. And at this point, on the last screen as well, I could save and come back to this application if I needed to go do something else, or I can keep continuing. Okay, so this is the page that's different among the applications because it's specific to that program's needs. So the program element just means the application type. So if this is a new design, I'm going to say design single family. If I had, if I needed to apply for a well in addition to this, I could select that here.
This is the equivalent of the old combined application. You could do one application and submit for both under one application.
And you can see that program elements required. That's why it has the red asterisk. Uh,
3 bedroom.
I had the lot number. I would fill that out.
Right now, that doesn't populate from Pierce County. We're looking in to see if it will. Some of this doesn't from Pierce County. The way their data is stored is in a text field. And so if there's not a one-to-one match, we can't pre-populate it. So there are some limitations in the Pierce County data, but we've worked to populate as much as we can. But that's one that we think we may be able to add. Just so you know. This is all similar information to ECO. These questions were modeled right after that.
So then I'll say we're on public. I didn't select that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay.
And then continue. So you can see there's several fields that I skipped. Just for ease of this demo. Attachments. This is another place that varies per application because each application requires different forms. This application is asking for designer basic site plan.
If there are more documents required there, you'll see them all listed, just in a row. You would navigate to wherever you save your files that you've developed for your customer.
And once it's at that 100%, the continue button turns green. And I'm just going to select the type, which is that designer basic site plan, just like it requires. Save. I could add additional documents if I have them.
If you needed critical areas or whatever you have to add, you just continue to add until you've got them all on there, then continue.
And this is a review page. So it gives me the opportunity to check what I've entered. If I need to make an edit to any of the sections, there's green edit buttons to each, and it'll take me back to that section. Just gonna scroll down. Everything looks good. And I'm saying yes, that I filled this out. I'm good to submit it. Continue application. Specific for our septic design industry group, the way your application in ACA is set up, like Laurel has said, mentioned several times, it's mirrored off of how it was set up in ECO. So you will see a difference here in the quantity being editable. Not all applications are like that.
We move forward with everything that was required in ECO is still required here. This is the only group that did not require prepayment, so that is why this is editable. So you won't see that for everything, but in this case, you would go ahead and hit 0. If you want to prepay it, some designers and professional engineers do want to prepay, and you can do that. You would just go to the bottom, leave it one and go to the bottom and hit continue. Is that what it says? Oh, check out. If you don't want to and you want to pay later or get a invoice to send to your customer, you would just hit the 0. If you hit recalculate, you'll see no fees due.
Yeah.
Down here, no fees due, and then check out. So that is a difference. You'll see in the help screen, there's how to submit a general application for drinking water and food and community safety. There's a separate one for onsite because this is covered in there. And then there's a separate one for a report of system status because there's a little bit of difference in RSS because you can do a second application on the same property. So I did do separate documents, instructions for those.
So if I was all done and ready to submit this, I would click checkout. Or I could say continue shopping and do another application or search the system.
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay. Do we have any questions? I'll take a pause here.
Yeah, is this located at eca@tpchd.org? Is that how you find it?
ACA hyphen production. The easiest way to find it, if you go to, do you have the old ECO link? I don't know who I'm speaking to. If you go to the
This is
old
Brad with
ECO,
Peninsula Septic Designs.
yeah, Brad, you have the old ECO link. If you go there,
Okay.
there's a link to it. I sent out some gov deliveries this morning that's there, and it's on our webpage. So if you go to ECO, there's a link right on there so that you can then get to the new site.
Okay, second question is, will this send out an email to the client to pay the bill like ECO, or do we have to do that?
First of all, we have to create an invoice. We'll be checking to make sure that we got the right submittal and do an invoice, and then we will send a copy back to you. And if you've listed the customer as the applicant, we can send it to both of you at the same time. I will say then at that point, once we facilitated getting that to you guys, then we're counting on you to follow up and make sure the customer pays it. We're going to be focusing on moving the applications through that we've received with payment, but we are facilitating get that invoice out so you can forward and they can make the payment.
Gotcha. And the third question would be, how do we find our old links on ECO and all the information from the last several years that we worked on? Is there a way to tie these together?
Absolutely. So when you create your new account, you'll see also on the help page. You want to navigate to the help page so they can see what I'm talking about. This is help. You can get there from here. So this is on our website. You can see the application status. And if you scroll down, there's how do I create an account, link my existing active applications. So we ask you to send an email to EH Septic Systems once you've created an account. And if you let us know that you've created your account, Brad will link your old applications to your new account so you can see them all. Because we know you have a lot
Okay.
in process. So and he's been getting to those pretty quickly. So just let us
Gotcha.
know, but we couldn't do it until you created the new account. So we're kind of waiting for you guys to create those and then let us know, and we're happy to connect them.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Catherine, I see your hand.
Yeah, so how long will it take for the link to our account to happen? Because I sent an email this morning and we're kind of flying blind here because we can't see our applications.
Oh, I'll check with Brad and see. You sent it to EH Septic?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And tell me, Catherine, company name.
Harborstone Consulting.
Harborstone. Okay. Yeah, I'll check with him.
And then the other thing is that when you create your account, I think it's important to point out that you have to go and validate your account before it will be active. Because I created our account this morning and then I tried to log in and it told me my account wasn't active and I had to go and validate it. It sent me an email that I had to validate the account before I could actually log in.
That's interesting. I haven't had that experience. So are you active now?
Yes.
I haven't heard of anyone having that experience either. So
Yep.
That's interesting.
I had
Okay.
the same problem.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Good to know.
We missed that then.
all I got.
Okay, thank you. Okay, seeing no more questions. We'll continue on of how to search for a record.
Actually, I think there was one question in the
Oh.
chat.
I can't see. Can you?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for the chat now. What program element would be selected for a tank repair?
Let's see. We can
Should
go
be-
back. Actually, this is really good to show you because I didn't submit this application. I am going to go home into my records. Now I see that application's in process, the 25 temp. That's the year that it was started. And then the TMP is just that it's a temporary record, tells me I haven't submitted it yet. And then I can click resume application. Now, if you had fees due on this record, then the action would say pay fees due. We'll go back to resume. You see it save the address information and owner and the contact and licensed professional information. So you said tank. There's a repair partial.
Depends on the type of repair you're doing. Are you replacing the tank or are you just fixing cracks and holes in the existing tank?
It's the same application, it's 0604.
No, they'd be two different. There'd be partial repair and then there'd be tank replacement if you're replacing the tank.
Yeah. So you're just going to select the PE code that you need. And I would say if you have specific questions on your application and which to select, to reach out to us. And our program staff can help you more specifically with your direct issue. Okay, so we're going to go to search. And because I didn't save anything there, you can see it gave me a pop-up. Also, it shows that record. Even though I haven't searched, it's going to show my records first up here. So it makes it kind of nice for you guys that have several in progress. So I can search by the record number if I know it. I can search by record type, project name, address, parcel. I don't want to search this one necessarily. So I just go to the application type, which is the on-site sewage application. Yeah. So you can see all of these applications that I'm not associated to.
So just a general search. I was just gonna share, Catherine, I did ask Brad. He said he linked your account about 15 minutes ago, so I would double check that.
And to see into a record, you would click the record number link. So it shows you across the top, the record number, the application type, and the record status pending. And that will change as your application moves forward. Record info. You can drill into the record details.
So his record details is like a copy of what you submitted, like we used to send you an ECO, you can see.
Yeah, and you can see it down here too.
Okay.
What you see here depends on permissions. So if you're logged in versus if you're not logged into an account.
To their account.
And then processing status. This is gonna show you all the steps in our workflow. It's how we move the application forward. So of course, this will vary based on application type. And you can see this one's in application intake and marked as payment pending.
And they get checked off as you proceed
Yeah.
through it. This one is a new application, but you'll see, you can proceed through and see where it's at in the process. Similar to the old tracker across the top of ECO, it's vertical here in attachments as well. You can see any attachments you've submitted here.
I can't add any attachments because I'm not associated to this record. My account isn't. So
Yeah, that's all information over here that you'll be able to see as we move through the process, you'll be able to see inspections that have been done and comments, so you'll have access actually to probably a little bit more than you had before.
and the reports will be under attachments. So then payments, here's a place where you could pay the fee as well if there was fees due on this.
So this is a case with the onsite that it came in without a payment. We have to touch it, go create an invoice. And once that's done, you would see it here and we'd send you a link to come here and pay it.
Yes.
So that's why you're not seeing anything right now on this one.
Just sort of-
Anyway. What about the scroll bar? So this is
Yeah.
another limitation that we don't love about this. I mean, you can see there's a lot of white space on each side. It's one of the key things that they're working on with the ACA improvement is this is what they call an iframe window if you're technical, if you're not. You have a scroll bar that you can't see all the way across. So hopefully that will be easier to read. And we're looking at if we can adjust the order in which these are listed because sometimes on your home screen, so you see under action, resume application. Did you move that?
Mhm.
So it was all the way over on the right. That's something you're going to access a lot. We already moved it over so it shows in the first part of the screen. So hopefully you won't have to scroll over to find that. We know that's something you'll access a lot.
Just gonna advance here and see if I have. Okay, so you can also see the status here. I just kind of wanted to call that out. This one's in payment pending, revisions received. So if you were just doing a quick look, you wouldn't have to drill all the way into the record to see where the status was.
So I would expect if you're on your account, you looked at your records, then you would be able to see
Yeah,
just the ones that you're associated with. You wouldn't have to look, you could look at all of them if you want, they're there and you can see them all, but if generally you just care about the ones you need to take action on.
just gonna show you what the pay fees link looks like, maybe if it's.
One to look up that's due.
I have one. They paid it.
They paid it, is that what you said?
Yeah,
She had an example and somebody already paid it, so I guess the system's working, so that's good. You want me to look up on it? Let me find one. Does anyone have an example of one you know isn't paid? I'll look one up in our.
and go. It's a better way. Okay. So I'm gonna search by account record, which should have some. So you can see that the action says pay fees due. So you can click directly there. Or you could drill into the record by the blue link that we had shown before. Just going to show that again. So I can click the pay fees, or I can click the record number to see information about the record. So you can see this is a fee where the quantity is not editable. So I would click checkout. And then it's added it to my cart. So I can edit my cart if I didn't want to pay both of them, or if I wasn't ready to submit this on-site application yet, I would click remove. So it's gonna delete from my shopping cart. So I'm gonna say, okay,
Didn't delete your whole application just from the shopping cart.
yep. And then I would save and close because this is just me editing my cart.
So for on-site applications, what we will send you is an email that has the record ID to look it up under instructions, how your customer can pay it. You can forward, we'll send it to both of you, but then you can forward it. So it will make it straightforward so they can get there easily.
And then if I was ready to pay this, I would click checkout. And then I would choose my payment option, whether I was going to use a credit card or pay via my bank account via e-check.
So that is a new option that we have for people generally, and I know our agency is no different, are looking at credit card convenience fees or service fees for the percentage. And I believe that will not be true for our bank account. I know if anyone has kids in college, it was always much cheaper to do it with a bank account. So you have either option, or your customers have an option how they choose to pay for it. So that's new. So that's kind of, then you would, once you hit submit payment, which I don't think you want to do at this point, it takes you to a payment portal, our new payment portal. And we've tested that, that's working really well, and you'll get a receipt that says, what other things do we want to cover, or any questions that get stopping there?
Hey, Laurel, this is Catherine.
Yeah.
Hey, so I have my files. Thank you. So
Good.
question, I guess I would have thought that our applications would have shown up on our dashboard. Is there a way to put them on the dashboard, or is there a way to make it so when you log in, it goes right to your records screen?
I think I'll definitely need to look into that, Catherine, but I think we can utilize this view collection maybe to get them to show up for you.
So you see your cart, and then so this, my collection will be all your applications, and then you have work in progress. Yeah, I would expect if you've got existing applications, then you'd want to see
Okay.
all
I
of
think
them.
if I click view all records from the dashboard here, if I click view all, it should show me everything. It's hard to show you when I don't have any applications.
We definitely make a note of that and
Yeah.
follow up.
Oh, it looks like it just takes you to your records page.
When you click, so you're
Yeah.
still not seeing all of them there?
Yeah,
either? Okay.
when you click view all records down in work in progress,
Mm-hmm.
it just flips you over to your the records page.
We're making a note and we'll follow up with that. I mean, to me, it would look like work in progress, or if you look at the record ID and work in progress, see it says 25 temp. Those are all files that you've started that have not been submitted to the system as accepted applications. That's why it's temp. Once they're accepted, you'll see an in your case, you'll see an OSS 2025 hyphen and a 6-digit number, I think it is. So we know that's a temporary record you're getting ready to submit, but there should be a way that you can see your existing application. So we will get back with you all on that. That's the point of connecting them to your account.
Can you walk through the process of releasing an installation permit?
So right now we've got documented, you can follow the same process that you're doing now. I mean, so if you call them in online, either on our website, call in for release, they'll still come into here, we'll invoice and send an invoice to, normally that goes to the installer and paid. You will be able to do that, and I don't have that request in right now, but you will be able to go in as long as the contact, the designer and the installer are contacts on the record. So as you're entering, when you call it or when you send in for release of permit, we would add the installer as a contact if you haven't, because sometimes you don't know that up front. We will be able to add them. And there is a process that I still need to work on documenting, that you can actually do that all online. You can come into here and request the permit, assign or tell us who the installer is going to be. We can bill it, and then they can actually come in when it's actually done. You can sign off for final. So I do not have that documented right now. I would say at this point, go ahead and just follow. How do you normally do it now? Do you do EH Septic and email it in?
I do
from our
it
website?
by phone, so go ahead and continue to do that, is what you're saying.
You can continue to do that. That will certainly still work, but we're working on a more automated way that you can come in and request it right in the system. But I haven't gotten that finalized yet. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It'll work just fine and we'll capture it. Who was that?
Eric Russell,
Okay.
thank you.
So so this is like permit release. I will say, I know in the past, I don't know if this is something you're interested in and we need to do some more research. There's one of the companies wanted, for payment, they wanted a way to have money deposited in a trust account. So it was a bigger company and they didn't want to run around and have everybody with credit cards. So you could set up an account that you could pay directly from there for their installers to pay. So that's another thing we're working on. But otherwise we can also just still issue an invoice to go to whoever you indicate. And once that's paid, we'll release the permit, just like we do now. So I see a question from Sean. Appreciate having access to the health department soils information as an attachment document available on our back-end account in ECO. Is there a way to make those available in the new system? So any attachments that were on the record in the past or in the process of being uploaded, you'll still have access to those. There's how many?
There's over 500,000 attachments.
So we started with the most current, and that's in progress so that we could keep your work moving forward. But you should have access to those. If you had access as an attachment in ECO, you will be able to see them in the new system. So coming. How do we see the application status and approved design for previous applications? So again, that would be something that if you submitted previously, we'll link your application, you'll be able to see it. If it's a new application that was just submitted, do you want to look this one up?
Sure.
So there's an on-site application. And the record ID is, and as a matter of fact, the wildcard search, a percent sign for wildcard works in these fields. OSS 2005 00007, ends in 7. So there's your application and you can see, so this is an onset. I think this is going to be similar. Did you pay it up? So you submitted it without paying, right? and it needs to be paid. So what needs to happen now, I've got, our back office people are gonna have to take a look at that and create an invoice because you didn't pay it up front. When you pay it ahead of time, the system creates the invoice. So I will also say we've got money set aside to do some enhancements. ECO wasn't as smooth as it is now when we started. We did a lot of enhancements. The application tracker, for example, didn't exist. We built that. We will be doing similar things with Accela to make it even more helpful. So stay tuned for that. One of those I would love to automate this part if you don't prepay. But at this point, Maddie or Jackie will be taking a look at that application, making sure that you selected the right PE code, the right fee. She'll be doing an invoice and sending it out to the applicant and whoever submitted, the designer. And so then again, like I said, you want to make sure your client pays that, and then we'll move it forward once it's paid. Let's see, here's another question. Would you pull up the search and enter the parcel number and click the link to that application?
Sean was answering.
Oh,
Yeah, Sean. Thank you, Sean, for answering.
I'm just going back through the chats here to see what else is there.
You scroll down right there. Sean said, did you try clicking? Oh, that's not.
Feel free to come on your mics and ask questions. We're looking through the chat, but some of them have. Yeah, definitely records there being loaded. We know that our staff are the same way. They're like, where are they? We have them, and Accela is uploading them. But 500,000 is a lot. So I think they're back through 25, 24. We went with the most current ones first and they're working their way back and they've been working. So stay tuned. They'll be there soon. Any other specific questions or?
Yeah, Laurel, this is Catherine again. So
Yeah.
under our records where it says action, when it says amendment, what does that mean?
Under your records?
Catherine, do you have the record number for that one?
Yeah, it's SR 0306062.
So I'm just looking at the processing status of that record. So I can see that it's in stub out, so it's okay to release permit. So this is the amendment is something that we still are working on documenting because we wanted a way for it to be more automatic for you guys.
So amendment in this record, Catherine, would be the fact that you're calling it in for stub out, that you're calling in for final inspection, that we're signing
got it.
off as built. So that's, instead of having a whole new record, we built this in a way so everything lives under one record.
Okay.
So it's all together. So that's the part that we're still documenting. Like I said, our current system will work that you've got and we'll find them. They come in through email and we're handling them. But this will be even better that you can just go right to the record and submit the information you need to. There's a form. Again, there's going to be some requirements. Like if you're trying to call in a permit to be issued to ABC, installer, then you would have to tell us that. We'd have to add them as a professional, a contact on the record. And then only if they're a contact on the record, no other installer would be able to sign off on the installation or that the final was done. The installation was done. So that's coming and should be pretty straightforward and won't require going through the website and putting that in. You can go straight to the record. So that's what an amendment is. It's something additional, another sub-process that happens on an existing record is the best way I can explain that.
Okay, thank you.
I think the same thing may be, whether it's just an digital attachment or the as-bills coming in is another thing. That instead of being a separate application, and even we're looking at renewal right now, that's a new application. We'd like to keep it all in one place. So when you do a new application, we have to move all the records to the new record. So we're trying to make that stay under the same record as well. So stay tuned. And I would say Brad and I are, and Jamie are all available. We've got staff working, we've got kind of an issue log of things they're seeing. We'll be adding your comments. So if you want to send those into EH Septic, that's fine. You can send them directly to me if you want, and we'll get them in to take a look at. I've set up some time, I know, to meet with someone next week just to walk through. We can do more of these. You'll have more questions. So I would say just feedback maybe to this group or to myself, L. Jellison at tpchd.org. I'm happy to get that feedback so that we can have these kind of meetings or, take in input as much as you have. And some things we'll be able to fix, and it's just a training issue that you just haven't figured it out. Some things we can fix in our own configuration. And some things are going to need and be an enhancement in the program. And we have that coming from every our staff as well as customers that use it externally. And we're happy to take all of that feedback. We're really just, I will just say out loud, we do recognize this is not the best time of year to go live for you or us. We know it's the busiest time. We also are 3.5 years into this, and needed to make the move. At this point, we were getting credits for every month they delayed because we've waited so long. And so I just will say there's no good time. This is probably the absolute worst time. We recognize that, but we needed to move forward and get live. So we are committed to hearing your concerns, your ideas, and working forward on those. So I just want to recognize that. So appreciate your patience, would love the feedback. I've had some people that have been frustrated. I have other people that are like, this is great. That's very typical of any go live. Everybody's at a different stage in, busyness, tech savviness, just all of that. The help, if you go to the help screen that we have set up on the website, again, all those documents are set up, and I actually made changes as of this morning. Most of them, if you look at them down below, they'll have today's date because I did some edits just based on a little bit of feedback we got. Most of them are pretty good. Please utilize those, but I'm happy to take questions as well. We're here to support you. We're not trying to make it more difficult. Any other questions? I notice there isn't an update on my account contact license or trust information. Is there, so this question is, I have not found a way to delete a work in progress application. So I mean, a temporary application, if you put it in and you change your mind, is that the question, James?
Yeah, so I did like a mock application.
Yep.
And now when I go to my dashboard, it's sitting down in my work in progress. And I
Yep.
have no way of getting rid of it. And I was wondering if there's a way to just like delete that.
I don't think there's a way for you to delete it that I know of. We can look into that as well, but I will tell you, if after 30 days, they go away. So
Okay,
it will
cool.
only be there for a month. So that's true. If you start one and it never gets paid, so that's the key for, at least for onsite. If we bring it in without a payment and we send the invoice and your customer doesn't pay, it's going to go away in 30 days. It'll get canceled. And you'd have to start over. So that's why we say we need you. We'll do the invoicing portion so that you don't have to prepay in this case, but we need you to follow up and make sure. I mean, I guess that's in your best interest too, because then you don't have to re-enter it, or maybe you don't continue with that customer. I'm not sure how you handle those, but yeah, they'll go away after 30 days. So they aren't there forever.
Okay, sweet.
And it should go away as you enter them, right? Because you'll finish them and they'll move on. But I don't know that, I mean, we can check. We've got a question, we've got a note made about could we add a delete button if you don't want to continue.
This other question was to update your account contact.
Yeah, so this is interesting to me. I've noticed this myself. So go to an account contact. I actually did do a typo on. I noticed there isn't an edit button to update my account contact, license or trust account. So are you talking about your account, your personal login account, or on an application?
So
I'm guessing you're talking.
I can
Go ahead.
edit my login information, but I can't edit my contact information, or any of the other ones.
On your account?
Yep.
Yeah, go to your account management. So I will share the license information. I wouldn't worry about. That is set up, and I actually just edited this on one of the documents in the help screen. That's set up because you can set it up to link to like the state of Washington LNI license information. We don't have that configured, so that won't matter. You have a separate licensed professional. If you're a licensed professional, you have a separate account in our database, so I wouldn't worry about that. But I did go in and edit something on a contact, and although I could edit, I had a typo and I fixed it. It allowed it to fix, but it didn't show up on the display on the front screen once you close the edit. So that's also noted as it looks like it's not edited. So for contact information, there isn't an edit button to do your own contact. We're also making a note of that. Some of these are just maybe things that aren't turned on in the system, and it's a configuration that just didn't get caught with all the testing we've already done. So we will let you know. Be looking for that to change.
To the trust account.
And the trust account, I guess I would say if anyone's interested in a trust account to reach out. That's something that I got asked for years ago by Flowhawks at the time. I don't know if they're still interested, but they're obviously a bigger company that has a lot of different installers, and to track down someone to pay was difficult. So they wanted to just deposit, $5,000 in an account that they could replenish as they wanted to. And then certain staff would have access to pull from there and pay. So it wasn't a hang up every morning when they were trying to pull installation permits. And so that can work as well. So if anyone's interested in that, we're happy to do that. I think the other thing I want to cover here, delegates. Yeah. So when you set up an account as a company, what we recommend is you set it up for the company, and then delegates would be people that work for you. So think about if you're a company and you have several employees, they could log on and work on your behalf. If they create their own account and they leave, you don't have their password. Sometimes you can't access your application. So this is a way that you could give someone permission that works for you to see your applications and work on your behalf. And then you could actually
Okay, well, I'll send her a
take that
text.
away. Bob, you're not on mute. So anyway, that's how the delegate works. So if you want to make sure all of the body of work you do under one company is accessible, I would recommend using that delegate feature. And again, if somebody wants to use that and needs some help with that, give us a call. We're happy to help with that, or just email us. I appreciate you guys joining. I know it's at 2 o'clock, and I know this is crunch time when you're just trying to get to your application. So again, really open to your feedback. Septic, you can email me directly. We're here to work with you and make it as smooth as we can, both internally and externally. I know we have a lot of staff on here too that are just working hard to keep things moving. So far, I think we had people in the field doing inspections and they've been practicing. I've heard good things from staff in terms of processing things. So let us know if you have any questions or feedback. Appreciate your time today. Thank you all.
Thank you.